A trad wife influencer named Ariana is receiving thousands of hate messages on all her accounts. In the middle of a nervous breakdown, she sees a knife on the table and decides to grab it to self-delete. She collapses and her phone falls to the floor as it begins ringing with a call from Catherine. Ariana tries to reach it while crawling on a puddle of her own blood, but she dies before she can answer. This started a few weeks ago. In southern France, Catherine and her photographer girlfriend Diane are going on a vacation together. During the car ride, they see a castle near the road and Diane convinces Catherine to stop to explore. Diane takes lots of pictures and Catherine tries to stay supportive even though she thinks the building is dangerous. Eventually they make it to the hotel only to learn that their special reservation has been cancelled. The receptionist explains that the hotel made a marketing deal with an influencer so they had to give the special room to her. The couple gets a small room instead and Catherine is in a bad mood, but Diane assures her it's fine because what matters is spending time together. Later while Catherine is relaxing by the pool, Charlotte sits next to her to chat. It turns out she's the influencer who took the room but isn't even happy about it. She only came because of her contract. Charlotte chats with Diane too, and Catherine's anger only grows. To make up for taking the room, Charlotte invites the couple to dinner. Catherine doesn't want to go, but does it anyway because she doesn't want to leave Diane alone. Charlotte shares many stories and Catherine is annoyed by everything she says. When she hears that the couple wants to visit the vineyard, Charlotte shares that she has an exclusive vine tour tomorrow and invites them to come, but Catherine turns her down. That night in their room, Diane mentions that Charlotte was very nice. However, Catherine thinks Charlotte is another entitled influencer who would die without a phone. The next morning Charlotte approaches Catherine at the cafe and reveals she sent Diane the tickets to the vineyard tour because she wants her to take some photos. She thinks Diane is very talented and plans to introduce her to her other influencer friends so she can get more work. A very annoyed Catherine tells Charlotte that Diane isn't feeling well so she'll be her photographer instead. Moments later Catherine takes Charlotte to the abandoned castle to take cool pictures. She even gets Charlotte's phone and her password, making it seem like part of the job. When Charlotte moves too close to the edge of a pit, Catherine pushes her down. The fall is long and Charlotte is now bleeding heavily, but she's still alive. Catherine goes down there and takes a picture of her while she begs for help with her last breath. Later in the hotel, Catherine goes to Charlotte's room and packs all her things. On her way out she bumps into Diane, who mentions the vineyard thing and shares that she turned Charlotte down. However, Catherine says they should go. Catherine has a talk with the receptionist before she and Diane visit the vineyard. Diane notices that Charlotte hasn't shown up, so Catherine secretly uses Charlotte's phone and pretends to be her to answer Diane's text, telling her she had to go home. When they return to the hotel, the receptionist gives them the special room. During the rest of the day, Catherine keeps on using Charlotte's phone to upload pictures to her social media, making it seem like she's still alive. Diane worries about Catherine strangely spending so much time online, and those worries increase when Catherine leaves alone the next morning. Downtown, Catherine sees another influencer taking pictures and decides to start following her. When she's about to get close enough, the woman meets with her boyfriend and Catherine is forced to walk away. Then she goes to the shore to throw Charlotte's phone into the sea. Some days later, Catherine comes home and finds a mess. It turns out Diane has found all of Catherine's fake passports and Charlotte's account on the computer. She's matched the dates on the passports to some news articles and realized that Catherine is a murderer who targets influencers. Diane cries as she considers calling the police, so Catherine tells her she loves her. When Diane tries to walk away, Catherine smashes a lamp on her head to bring her down. Then she uses the cable to choke her to death. Meanwhile, Madison has survived after Catherine abandoned her on an island a year ago. She's come back in a boat with the bodies of Catherine's other victims, so the police consider her the main suspect. Madison has given them a description of Catherine, yet there are no photos or records of her existence. Eventually Madison is released over the lack of evidence, but everyone on the internet believes she's guilty. She gets thousands of hate messages every day, so she's forced to delete her accounts. People even start showing up at her house, so she has to move too. Madison tries to keep a low profile but agrees to appear on a podcast to tell her side of her story. She explains that Catherine used her phone and pretended to be Madison to keep updating her social media so nobody would know the truth. She controlled Madison's bank account too. Unfortunately, the podcast hosts are only nice at first, then they point out all the inconsistencies in the case to make her look bad. Later Madison looks at the comment on the podcast episode only to find more hate. Desperate to start over, Madison takes a job as a store clerk and keeps a normal routine. One evening, she reads about Charlotte's death and how her accounts had posts after her determined time of death. The next day, she starts getting hate calls on her new phone number. When she goes home, someone rings her bell saying they've brought her pizzas, but she hasn't ordered any. It seems the haters have found her new address too. Desperate for answers, Madison checks Charlotte's account to learn where she was last seen, then she flies to France. She visits all the places on Charlotte's social media to no avail. While taking a break at a cafe, Madison watches a video that Charlotte took at the hotel and sees Catherine in the background. She immediately drives to the hotel and tries asking the receptionist about Catherine, but he refuses to talk about the guests. After finding no clues in the building, Madison checks social media for pictures taken in the hotel. This allows her to find Diane's account, which has another photo of Catherine. Madison calls Diane's home and her parents tell her that Diane has moved to Bali, Indonesia with Catherine. Meanwhile in Bali, masculinist influencer Jacob has another successful stream teaching young men how to be jerks to women while pretending it's good morals. He's happy with the result, but his girlfriend Ariana thinks he isn't trying hard enough. People are getting bored, so he needs something controversial. That night, Jacob goes to a club with his friend Cameron, who is tired of Jacob's macho public attitude when in private Ariana controls him. He asks him to prove his masculinity by hitting on a woman and points at Madison. Jacob tries to chat with Madison but she immediately turns him down. Then she explains that she's looking for Catherine and shows him a picture, saying that this woman killed lots of people. Jacob realizes that Madison looks familiar and asks for her number, promising he'll contact her if he sees Catherine. Madison gives it to him and Jacob turns to Cameron with excitement, pretending his flirting was successful. The next day Jacob and Madison are having lunch at a restaurant when Jacob sees Catherine. He immediately follows her and starts recording her while asking her if she's a murderer. Catherine is frozen in shock while Jacob keeps showering her with questions and mentioning that another woman is looking for her. Since she doesn't say anything interesting for a video, Jacob leaves. Afterward Catherine goes home and discusses what happened with an AI that she programmed to sound like Diane. She realizes that Madison is in Bali and searches her name online, but there are no results. Then she finds Jacob's social media and notices he was at a club last night. Among the many people who watched his video, there's a mysterious account with no pictures or followers. Catherine starts following that account's activity to learn the places it's visited. This allows her to find Madison in a very touristic area, but she runs away before she can be seen and return. At home, Catherine watches Jacob's stream about Madison, which also mentions her. She analyzes the background and quickly gets Jacob's address. She also studies Ariana's conservative videos to understand her philosophy. Whenever Diane's parents call, Catherine uses AI to replace her voice and face with Diane so her family thinks she's still alive. Next Catherine makes a social media account pretending to be Madison and befriends Cameron to learn about local events. That night Catherine finds Jacob at Cameron's party and tells him that Madison has been stalking her. Jacob talks to Catherine in private and hears her fake sob story about Madison trying to frame her for the murders. He doesn't know what to do and tells her to call the cops. Refusing to give up, Catherine joins the party and consumes happy powder with everyone. As soon as she has an opening, she talks to Jacob in private again, saying he's the only one who can protect her. When she's about to kiss him, Cameron interrupts them. Catherine rushes to the bedroom and tries to get naughty with Jacob, who turns her down because he has a girlfriend. Instead she asks for his help to catch Madison so they agree to meet later. After Jacob falls asleep on the couch, Catherine steals his keys from his bag and uses a special device to drain his phone battery. Then she sneaks out of the house. Moments later, Catherine is breaking into Jacob's home. She gains access to his computer and installs a remote access program. Then she searches his files for anything incriminating and finds a video of Jacob watching Ariana getting naughty with another man and telling him that he likes it. At that moment Ariana catches Catherine red-handed and threatens to call the police. Catherine pretends she's Jacob's lover, which leaves Ariana in such a shock that Catherine can just walk away. As soon as she gets home, Catherine uses the remote access program to get into Jacob's computer and upload the naughty video to the internet. While waiting, Catherine remembers how she met Diane a year ago. After the incident with Madison on the island, Catherine flew to France and tried to lay low. One day at a cafe, she saw Diane behind the counter. That night she found her social media and loved all her pictures. The next day Catherine asked Diane out and they immediately hit it off. They had lots of fun together and their relationship grew fast. Diane was hurt in the past and asked for a partner who would never lie to her, so Catherine told her she was stranded on an island for a while but not about the murders. The flashback also shows that after killing Diane, Catherine immediately regretted it and had a breakdown. In the present, Catherine makes the Diane AI repeat "I love you" over and over. The next morning Ariana keeps calling Jacob but since his battery is dead his phone won't even ring. Next she calls Cameron, who refuses to pass the phone to Jacob. He tells Ariana that Jacob got a new girl last night who is much better than her. After the call ends, Ariana starts getting thousands of hate comments and she discovers that her naughty video has gone viral. Meanwhile Catherine sneaks back into Cameron's house and pretends she spent the whole night there. When Jacob wakes up, he sees that his phone is dead and he can't charge it, so he borrows Catherine's to call Ariana. This is the moment when Ariana self-deletes so she doesn't pick up. In the kitchen, Cameron has found the naughty video too. When Jacob comes downstairs, Cameron tries to tell him about the video, but Jacob is too excited about catching a killer with Catherine and leaves without hearing him. Afterward Jacob takes Catherine to his house and they find Madison standing next to Ariana's body. Jacob rushes to his girlfriend's side and has a breakdown while accusing Madison of killing her. Madison immediately denies it and tries to explain that it was Catherine, who has manipulated him all along. Catherine also denies it and both women start screaming at the same time, saying the other did it. Then Catherine tries to approach Madison, so she picks up the knife to protect herself. However Jacob gets to her first and accidentally gets stabbed instead. Catherine tries to attack again and Madison starts throwing kitchen tools at her, but she dodges them all. Then the women start fighting and Madison tries to use a bottle as a weapon, however Catherine kicks it out of her hands. The fight continues and after failing to choke each other, they roll over the table and fall on pieces of broken plates. While Jacob finally passes out, Catherine grabs a plate shard and slashes Madison's face. A chase ensues and Madison keeps pushing furniture, but nothing seems to stop Catherine, who tackles her and starts beating her up. Madison picks a pool ball and hits her in the face to throw her off. When Catherine chases after her again, Madison manages to bring her down with a bowl to the head and hits her again to knock her out. Afterward, Madison grabs Catherine's phone and discovers all the tricks she's been pulling. Before leaving, she ties Catherine's hands and ankles with tape. Moments later, Madison finds Catherine's home and is startled by Diane's voice. After realizing it's just a computer, Madison searches the wardrobe and finds a box with the fake passports and a picture of Charlotte's body. Next she checks the computer and discovers the connection to Jacob's home. At that moment Jacob regains consciousness. Still believing Madison is the killer, he unties Catherine and wakes her up. Then he grabs Ariana's phone to call the police, but he freezes when he sees all the messages she sent him last night, including a text about finding Catherine at his computer. He also finds a message from a friend asking about the naughty video. Jacob demands an explanation, only for Catherine to stab him multiple times in the chest while saying all influencers are cancer and his body falls into the pool. When Catherine turns around, she sees that the computer camera is on. She checks the stream and discovers that Jacob's followers have seen everything. They love her and keep donating money. Meanwhile, Madison grabs all the evidence and leaves with a smile, ready to bring Catherine down at last. At that moment Cameron brings some girls to Jacob's house. Catherine immediately jumps on him with a knife and furiously stabs him over and over. The girls scream and run away, so Catherine chases after them too. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.